Mrs. Morris? I've been able to arrange that time off for you. 2 days starting from tomorrow. Is that all right?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you. Hope it's not too inconvenient.
Oh, we'll manage. I must say I'm glad to see you put in an application for Deputy Governor.
Yes, I'm wondering whether I should withdraw it now.
Because of Bob? Mm-hmm. Or why don't you wait and see what happens? I must say, I think you have a good chance of getting the position.
Really?
Well, I'm certainly going to recommend you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'll have to talk things through with Bob over the next few days. Perhaps we can come to some sort of compromise.
Bye, Blitz. Bye, Amber.
Thank goodness that lot are gone.
Me again? Look, I got the distinct impression a few moments ago that I'd overstepped the mark.
Yes, you did a bit.
Well, I only asked you to have lunch with me. What's the harm in that?
Mr. Marnie.
Ian.
Mr. Marnie, I told you I was a married woman.
Well, I only asked you to go to lunch, not get a divorce.
I only had drinks with you to discuss business. It wasn't intended to encourage you to think that I would...
That you'd what?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Thanks for the invitation, but no thanks.
I know what's wrong.
What?
You are the type of girl who has a few oysters and a stout, and whammy, you turn into a raving sex maniac. You're frightened that you might not be able to resist me.
You're quite mad, you know that?
Well, not mad, but a lot of fun. Well, come on, how about it?
No.
All right, forget about the oysters and stout. How about biscuits and cheese and a small sherry?
Bob, darling, what are you doing here? This is Ian Marnie, my husband, Bob Morris. Mr. Marnie's teaching the women how to use the new printing press.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
What are you doing here so early?
I thought you might like to go to lunch.
I'd love to go to lunch, darling, but you'll just have to wait a minute. I've got a few things to deliver to Mrs. Davidson's office.
I'll wait for you outside in the car.
Right.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Barney.
Marnie. Oh, look, by the way, if you are going to the Wentworth Arms, try the oysters. I believe they are wonderful.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Try not to be too long, darling.
I'm on my way.
Meg, Mrs. Morris. I'm sorry if I made it a bit awkward for you back there.
And so you should be. God knows what Bob thought was going on.
Well, I didn't understand. I thought your husband was supposed to be in Jakarta.
Look, it really wouldn't make any difference if he was or not. Wherever he is, he's still my husband. And I don't make a point of accepting dates with other men.
Why not?
Look, I know this may sound old-fashioned to you, but that's the way I am. I don't go out with other men. Now, someone always finds out. And what started out as an innocent, harmless outing gets turned into a minor scandal. Well, I don't need that.
Ah, new prisoners arriving at reception for induction. Excuse me.
Hey, you see what I mean? You never know when somebody's going to turn a corner and catch you in an awkward moment.
Well, fair enough. But you can't blame me for trying. You're a very attractive lady.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong idea. Friends?
Friends.
Stand on that line, please.
Couple of new ones for you. Susan Driscoll and Mary Vaughan.
16. Oh, fancy sending a kid that age to a place like this.
Take a look at the charge sheet. She's escaped from all the juvenile remand centres. Now she's graduated.
Unfortunately. Sending us babies now.
Yeah, well, don't worry. After a while, she'll look like everyone else in here.
And what she learns in this place, there's no turning back. After today, she'll never be a kid again. All right, you two. Sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Davidson. These are the files of the 2 new prisoners.
Oh, anything out of the ordinary?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Susan Driscoll, 16-year-old. This will be her first time in a maximum security prison. As you can see, she has been in and out of institutions since she was 11.
More out than in by the look of this. It doesn't seem as though anyone could hold her for very long. Escaped on her 12th birthday and recaptured after 2 weeks. Escaped again after 7 months, picked up again 3 months later. Escaped after another 5 weeks and recaptured after 8 months. So it goes on. It looks like we might just have to tie her down.
Well, they were only children's institutions. The security isn't like it is here.
Yes, but she'll try it again. She sounds like a potential troublemaker.
Well, she doesn't look it. She's a really nice-looking kid. Reminds me a bit of my daughter.
Yes, well, it's hard to pick them. I think I'd better have a word with her and make sure she understands how things are run in here.
I thought you might, so I haven't sent her to the shower. She's waiting outside.
All right, show her in.
Right. Come on. Do you wait for her, Mrs. Ward? This is Mrs. Davidson.
Hello, Susan. I see from your record that you have been involved in quite a number of attempted escapes. Well, I must warn you that Wentworth is entirely different. Security is much tighter here, and I would advise you to put any ideas of escape right out of your head. Attempted escape is dealt with very severely here, and I would suggest that you just settle down and serve your sentence without causing any trouble. Do I make myself clear? All right, you can wait outside with Officer Ward. Mrs. Power will show you to your dormitory shortly. Well, she's not very talkative, but you're quite right. She's a pretty little thing.
Hate to think what being in here is going to do to her. Just have a look at that family background. Petty criminals for parents, farmed out to distant relatives since she was 9.
Yes, well, help her to settle in. Make sure she doesn't do anything stupid.
Okay.
So I thought I'd surprise you.
You certainly did. It's a nice surprise, though.
Who's that Carney fella?
Marnie. Ian Marnie. I told you, he works at the prison. He's teaching the women how to use the new printing press.
Has he been there long?
No, not long.
You two seem very friendly.
You're not jealous, are you?
Of course I'm not. Should I be?
Don't be silly. One man at a time's enough for me, thank you.
Oh, yeah, but I haven't been around much lately. Thought you might be a bit lonely.
Well, of course I get lonely. But it doesn't mean I'd pick up some fella the minute your back's turned. You don't think I would?
No, of course not, Meg. But, well, we've been apart so much lately, and it's not doing our relationship much good, is it?
It doesn't help.
Look, darling, the way things are in Jakarta, sooner or later we're going to have to come to a decision about our future. You know it, don't you?
Sit.
If you take my tip, you'll sit by yourself. It's the best company you'd get out of this lot. Cutlery, plates, get your food down there.
Well. Looks like Wentworth's opened up a childcare centre.
Poor kid. I can just imagine how she's feeling at this moment.
Wonder what she's in for.
Probably nicking lollies from a slot machine.
Well, pick it up, Butterstumps.
Never mind, love. Don't let that lot get to you. Bring a meal over to our table. You'll be okay with us.
Oh,
you want to watch out for old ex-Queen Bee, sweetheart. She has kids like you for breakfast. So neat. You need to keep up your strength. Let's get anywhere in this place, you've got to have plenty of muscle. And not just between the ears, either. Because if you haven't got the muscle, then you are finished.
Darling, of course I want to be with you. But what is there up there for me? I mean, you'd be tied up with your business all day and I'd be stuck there with nothing to occupy me.
Well, there are all the other company wives up there.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that syndrome, and no, thank you. Oh, what about my career? It is important to me.
Career? A prison officer? Oh, come on, Meg, you can do better than that.
Maybe I don't want to. I mean, people rely on me. I don't want to let them down.
Yeah, I know. We've been through all this before.
There's been another development.
What?
I'm in line for the position of Deputy Governor.
What?
Well, now that Jim's left, it's available. Looks like it's between me and Colleen Powell.
Well, she'll probably get it. I mean, she's a senior officer.
Not necessarily. I do have a chance.
Meg, what about our marriage, my job?
Well, what about our marriage and my job? Oh, really, I do have to go. We'll talk about it later tonight. What are you going to do this afternoon?
I'm going to Barnhurst to see Tracy.
Give her my love.
I will.
You wouldn't be pulling our legs by any chance, would you?
No. Why? It's no big deal.
12 times? You escaped 12 times?
Yeah. Well, it might have been a couple more. It was about 12. That's why they put me in here.
Well, they must have charged you with something. They can't just shove you in here for escaping from a girl's home.
Yes, they can. They said they didn't have anywhere else they could send me.
But why'd you keep escaping all the time?
Didn't like the places they sent me. And besides, I wanted to get back to see my parents.
So when did you first get stuck in a home?
When I was 11. But I made a break for it on my 12th birthday.
Oh, that must have been a lovely birthday present for your parents.
Well, yes, it was. We had a fantastic time and they threw a big party for me and everything.
Yeah, I'll bet. So what do they do for a living, these famous parents of yours?
Do?
Yeah, what does your old man do for a crust?
Dad travels. He's a traveller. And Mum, well, she's been a bit sick lately. But she's getting better.
So your dad's on the run and your old lady's an outie, right? Shut up, Mari.
Susie? Susie Driscoll? That's right. Who are you?
Well, you probably won't remember this, but I used to babysit you. About how long ago would it be? Must be 8 years ago. I knew it. I recognised your face when I saw you in the dining room.
Oh, it's a long time ago. Are you sure?
Oh, you've still got the same look about you. And you are Susie Driscoll?
Yeah.
You're the one, all right. Oh, it's unreal, isn't it? Well, come over and sit down. Well, tell me what's been happening. How come you're in here?
Oh, well, I suppose that's solved one problem. We've got a live-in babysitter for the kid. And she's cheap.
How was lunch?
A bit strained.
Well, it must be good for the ego being popular with all these men.
The only man I want to be popular with at the moment is my husband. And looks like the only way I can do that is to give up my job and fly off to the wilds of Indonesia with him. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I help?
Yes, I want to talk with Mrs. Morris.
Oh, I'm Meg Morris.
Oh, yeah, well, my name's Wallace. I'm a friend of Judy Bryant's. Is there somewhere we can talk that's private?
Well, you can stay here. I'm just about to go and do my rounds.
Oh, thanks, Janet. Where is Judy? I've got to get in touch with her.
Well, that's the reason I'm here. Well, it seems that you're one of the few people she feels she can trust, and she really needs help.
Sounds like it. Had the police on my doorstep last night, wanted to know where she was. Did she say what happened?
Yeah, well, apparently that fellow went back to the flat after you left, and he tried to attack her. Well, she got away, but only because he fell down the stairs.
Damn him, I should have guessed. I told the police he was harassing her. Where's Judy now?
Well, she's at my place, but, well, she's in a bit of a state, you know, emotionally. Can you get out there?
Yes, of course. Look, you give me the address and I'll get out there as soon as I can.
You won't tell the police yet?
I don't think that'll help her much at this stage, dear.
Well, she did say I could trust you.
That's all very well. But you must remember you are no longer a parole officer. You can't go running off at the drop of a hat to help every ex-prisoner with a problem.
I realise that, but I just can't ignore her. I mean, if someone doesn't help her, she could wind up back in here again.
All right. But get Officer Conway to cover you.
Thank you. I'll be as quick as I can.
Just remember, the board will be handing down its decision at any moment. If you do get the position of Deputy Governor, your days of running after ex-prisoners will be over. It's a full-time job looking after the ones in here.
Where have you guys been assigned to? Matt and I are both off to the workshop.
Yeah, so are we.
Oh, great. Then we can all be together. Come on.
You go ahead, Susie. I want a quiet word with Mouse. Just follow the others.
Oh, don't be long, okay?
All that stuff about her parents and how great they are, is it the truth?
Just the opposite. Well, when they went booze to the eyeballs, they were bashing the hell out of each other about pension stuff. Well, they never had any time for the kids and used to palm them off on anyone who'd take them.
Oh, God, no wonder she finished up in here.
Let's make sure she keeps her nose clean so she can get out of here legit, okay?
I'll be in that.
And now let's go and see if they'll allow us to run off a few $50 bills in the printing press.
They're too hard to pass, believe me. Let's just settle for 20.
I wonder if it'll print 10-cent pieces.
Hello, Laurie.
Oh, Mrs. Morris.
I was just coming to get you. Mrs. Maynard here is really worried about her mother.
Where is she, Mrs. Morris? I went back to the flat and it's been totally wrecked. I didn't really know what to do next. I rang the cab company. They didn't know where she was. She didn't come home all night.
Now, calm down. She's all right. As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to see her now.
Well, where is she? Can I go with you?
Yes, of course you can. I'll just sign off and then we'll be on our way.
What happened to her, Mrs. Morris? She's not in trouble again, is she? I mean, it's just not like her to go off like this and not leave a message with somebody, is it?
I'll tell you all about it in the car. Will you cover for me, Janet, please? I've okayed it for Mrs. Davidson.
Yeah, fine.
Just want to put you in the picture, kid. There's a few things you better learn right from the start.
Oh, yeah?
Now, I don't know how much you know about prison life, but the sooner you learn, the better. Like there's always a top dog, a boss. She looks after the other women, and in return, they give her their full support.
Oh, then it's the same sort of setup all over.
Good. You know what I'm talking about, then. You also know that if you cross the boss lady, you're going to find yourself in a whole heap of trouble.
And who's the top dog in here?
Me, sweetheart. And don't you forget it.
Aha! Some new blood. Good. Welcome aboard. I'm Ian Marnie, the instructor. What's your name?
Susie Driscoll.
G'day, Susie. You just new in, or haven't I met you around?
She's a new girl, and she's underage. So you better save your Mr. Charmack for that certain screw.
Oh, boy, have you got an imagination.
Yeah, don't I? But you don't need to worry about this kid. She's very bright. She knows what's what and who's who. Don't you, Susie?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Mum, what on earth happened to you? I came back from Uncle Archer's because I was worried about you and you weren't there. I nearly went mad.
I'm all right, darling, I think. Well, what happened?
Well, the police came round to the flat wondering where you were too.
It's all right. They know what happened. There were witnesses who saw him fall down the stairs. You're in the clear, but the police want to ask you a few details.
I see. Is he dead?
No, he survived the fall. It looks like he's got permanent spinal damage. He'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Oh, Mrs. Davidson. Any news on the deputy governorship yet?
No, not yet, but it shouldn't be long.
Well, it's just that I'm off duty soon. I hope to hear something before I left.
Well, I'm afraid we can't expect the workings of the bureaucracy to fit in with your roster.
No, of course not.
I assure you that I will assemble the officers and make the announcement as soon as the board hands down its decision. Was there anything else?
No, thanks.
Yep, hold it before you do that. This will have to go in the other way, or the word will come out upside down.
That's so the people sitting opposite you can read it. Change it around as well.
Hey, thanks for helping me out at lunchtime, Bea.
It's okay. Listen, seeing as your mum and dad won't be around to look after you for a while, if you need any help, just give us a yell. I have a lot of experience in mothering people.
Have you got a lot of kids on the outside?
No, I had a daughter, but she's dead.
Hey, see that woman over there, Mari? Well, she reckons she's top dog in here. Is that right?
She thinks she is. Keep away from her. She's trouble.
Excuse me, Mr. Marnie. I need Smith and Dodds for kitchen duties.
Right, Miss Conway. B, Angie, see you tomorrow.
Okay. Listen, you know Sandy, don't you? We'll stick with her. She's okay.
All right. Thanks again, B.
Hi. Must have been a nice long lunch.
No, I wasn't at lunch. To go out and see Judy Bryant. She's in a bit of a jam.
Surely that's a parole officer's job.
Well, they were special circumstances. Didn't Janet or Mrs. Davidson tell you where I was?
I'd be lucky if I was told there'd been a second coming in the maternity ward.
Any more news on the Deputy Governor's job?
No, not yet. I was hoping to hear before I signed off.
Oh, well, no news is good news, I suppose. Especially in my case.
Having second thoughts?
Hello? Yes, Mrs. Davidson. Yes, right away.
Well?
She wants to see us in her office. Well, this is it. Good luck.
I know you are both very anxious, so I won't keep you in suspense. The board has just handed down its decision. The appointment of Deputy Governor goes to Mrs. Morris. Congratulations.
Oh. Well, thank you, Mrs. Davidson. I'm sorry, Colleen. You must be very disappointed.
No, of course not. Well, I am a little, but then that's the way it goes.
Mrs. Powell, this in no way diminishes your value as a senior officer. You are a splendid asset to Wentworth, and I'm sure the board had great difficulty in making a decision.
Thank you, Mrs. Davidson.
Now, if you would excuse us, I have a few things to say to Mrs. Morris.
Of course. Congratulations, Mick.
Well, I must say I expected a little more enthusiasm.
I am pleased. Very pleased.
And Bob, how will he take it?
Good afternoon, ma'am. And on behalf of myself and my co-workers, may I congratulate you on your meteoric rise to fame, fortune, and the attendant responsibilities.
News certainly travels fast. Who told you? I've only just left the governor's office.
Well, actually, I got it from the other lady contender, Mrs. Powell.
Oh, dear, she must be feeling pretty rotten. Do you know where she is? I'd like to speak to her.
Well, she's gone. She was signing out when I arrived. In fact, she almost ran out the door.
Oh, Colleen. I think it meant a lot more to her than she let on. Funny, isn't it? I think she would have been thrilled to the back teeth to have got that job. And I'm not sure I even want it.
Thank you. Mum, must have been so frightening for you.
Yeah, it was, love.
I would never have gone away if I'd realised. I suppose...
Darling, I didn't want you to know about it. Besides, he was starting to threaten you. I wanted you safely away in Queensland. Come on, let's sit down.
Oh. Yep. I just still can't accept that if Jeff and I had been there, it would have been so bad.
Well, you're underestimating Jock Stewart. He would have found a way, believe me. Anyway, I can't keep hiding behind you all the time. You have to live your own life now.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'll be all right. Will you stop worrying? What about this Wally friend of yours? Just good friends. That's all we are, good friends. Wally accepts me as I am. He doesn't ask awkward questions. He's a very gentle, nice man.
Well then?
Well then what?
Why don't you marry him?
And ruin a beautiful friendship, are you kidding?
I'm just going to worry about you while I'm away, that's all.
Darling, please stop it. I've looked after myself okay for 21 years, haven't I?
Done a pretty awful job of that.
Wish you'd stop nagging me. Have you made arrangements for tonight?
No, I hadn't really thought about it. Suppose I could check into the local pub. I don't really feel like going back to the flat.
Well, I think you should stay with Wally. I mean, he wouldn't mind.
You sure? I've even met him before.
He would not hear of you staying in a pub, and neither would I.
Two more. Oh, hi. How'd you go on kitchen duty? Did you manage to nick anything?
No, everything's locked up tighter than a mackerel's bum. Bea might do better than me because she's just taken over. Hello, love. You must be Susie. Susie Driscoll. Bea told me all about you, and I've got to keep my eye on you.
Susie, this is Lizzie Birdsworth and Kate Peterson.
G'day. Which is which?
Oh, Liz is the old bag who talks all the time.
You keep your trap shut, Mari. This is my recreation period, and I'll talk if I want to. Don't take any notice of her, love. She's having a bit of a bad trot. She thinks she's top dog this week. Next week, she'll think she's bloody Napoleon.
There you go, Burns. Now behave yourself.
Oh, that's all we need. The lag is back.
Why don't you sit down, Murray, while you've got the choice?
Keep pushing, Edwards. Keep pushing.
Mr. Faulkner, the drill in the workshop's on the blink. Will you get it fixed?
You have to take it up with the new Deputy Governor,
Oh, who is it?
Mrs. Morris.
Beauty! Oh, I was hoping it wasn't Mrs. Powell. I mean, she can be too tough.
Don't underestimate Mrs. Morris, Lizzie.
You don't have to tell us that. We've known her for years. She's firm, but she's fair.
Exercise period's due in a couple of minutes, so get yourselves ready.
Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your escape attempt.
Oh, some attempt. Only Lagger had blown escape to save a screw.
I wasn't saving a screw. I was saving the dogs. Though, mind you, if it had come to a choice between you and Conway, I might have had second thoughts.
If you want to try anything, you better start with me.
Oh, no, you're a real special case. I'm saving you up for the right moment.
Suit yourself. Come on, kid, let's go and get some fresh air. Ah, who's the brand new Deputy Governor then? Better watch it, girls. Hawkeye Morris is on the job.
Good on you, Mrs. M. Oh, 3 cheers for the new Deputy Governor. Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Hi. Oh, thanks. Just like to thank you for sticking up for me against Mari in there.
Forget it. It's always a pleasure to bring her down a peg.
Yeah, well, I usually like to fight my own battles, but I can't, you know, with this bloody cast on my hand.
Yeah, I suppose it would slow you down a bit. Mind you, you could put someone to sleep for a couple of hours with one whack of that.
Oh, yeah, but you'd have to get him with the first punch, and I don't reckon I'd get a second go at Mari.
No.
And, listen, Sandy, I want you to know that I'm not a lagger. What happened at Barnhurst, well, that got out of hand. They pushed me into a corner. It's real tough in there, and it's getting tougher every day with Vera as governor.
Well, the way I see it is whatever happened in Barnhurst just happened in Barnhurst. No one can judge you here because no one knows the full story. Anyway, I reckon you paid for your mistake. As far as I'm concerned, it's over and done with.
Oh, well, if it ever comes to a real showdown between you and Mari, you know you can count on me. As soon as I get this bloody cast off, that is.
Thanks.
You on kitchen duty tonight? Good. I've got a job for you. Can you make sure you get put on to serving meals in the dining room? Yeah? Easy. Why? I got a little present for Edwards. I want you to make sure she gets it. What is it? These. I want you to crush them up and put the powder in a meal and make sure you stir it in properly. What's in them? Oh, it's quite harmless. Just make her a bit woozy, that's all. I want to pay her back for what she did to me this afternoon. After she's had that stuff, there won't be much fight left in her. Yeah? All right? Good. You stick with me, kiddo. You'll soon get to the top of this dung heap. And believe me, the air's a lot sweeter up there.
Hello, Meg. You finished for the day?
Yes. As you're rushing off home to tell your husband the good news, eh? I heard he was back in town.
There's nothing to tell him.
What? It's not every day you get a promotion.
I'm not taking it.
You're joking. Why not?
There are more important things, Joyce. Like keeping a marriage together. Bob wants me to go to Jakarta with him.
Well, I know it's none of my business, but I'm amazed. I never thought you'd leave the prison service, Meg.
Yes, well, that's what Mrs. Davidson said. It wasn't an easy decision.
Well, I hope that husband of yours realizes the sacrifice you're making for him.
Yes, I'm sure he will. Besides, it's not entirely for him. It's for me too, you know.
Oh, yeah, can I help you?
Yeah, has Mrs. Morris left yet?
No, I don't think so, but she should be out any minute now.
All right.
I'll phone through to the staff room and check if she's there. Who shall I say is calling?
Bob. I'm a husband.
Oh, is that right? I suppose there'll be a big celebration tonight, eh?
Celebration? Why?
Well, Mrs. Morris getting the deputy governor's position.
I didn't know it had been decided yet. When did it come through?
Only this afternoon. Oh, it's terrific for her, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrific. Look, never mind. She's probably intending to stay back for a bit of a celebration with her friends. I'll catch up with her later.
Oh, I tell her you called.
Sorry. I suppose I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
I'm not surprised. Probably worrying about your old mum, eh?
Oh, well, that's a daughter's lot.
I thought that was supposed to be the other way around.
No, having a mother's a terrible responsibility. I've got two.
Well, this one you're not going to have to worry about for much longer because I finally got myself together and I'm starting a brand new life.
You know, I've just realised I might not see you again for quite some time. Whatever you say, I am going to worry about you. Because...
What is it, love?
Well, because there are still some things you really haven't told me. I mean, like this Jock Stewart thing. You must have had some terrible hold over your mind. Have you ever seen anything affect you like that? I need to be told, Mum. I want to be sure that it's not going to happen again.
The story's not very interesting, darling. It's an ugly story.
Mum, come on. You should know by now that anything you tell me isn't going to make any difference. I love you too much for that. Please, Mum.
Do you remember when I told you about this friend of mine that was killed by a screw? That was Jock Stewart. He threw her down a flight of stairs. There were no witnesses. They couldn't prove it. But he knew I knew. He used to come to my cell at night and remind me of it. I tried to tell the authorities, but they couldn't prove it. He was fired, that's all. Anyway, when I escaped, I discovered by accident that he was running a massage parlor racket. I realized that if I got a job there, I could get to him. The whole thing backfired anyway. He was blackmailing me. I rang the police and said they could find us there. We were arrested and I thought it was over. That's why when I saw him at the Trots, it was such a shock, you see. I didn't think he'd see me, but he had. Didn't take him long to find me, did it? Only this time, he threatened to hurt you. He hurt me, too. When he fell down the stairs, I knew he was hurt. He asked me to help him. Can you believe that? He said, help me. I just walked away. You know the rest, Laurie. I know it's not easy for you to think of what I did. It was something I had to do. Let's go back, huh? It's getting cold.
No, I'd like to stay here for a while by myself, if you don't mind.
You'll be all right.
Yeah?
Now we'll see what kind of constitution the big shot's got.
Oops! It's been one of those days.
Wouldn't bother with a clean spoon if I were you. The way this looks, I don't think it's going to make any difference. In fact, a bit of clean dirt might help.
Not too loud, you'll upset Mrs. O'Regan.
Come on, Edward, you're holding up the line.
Murray, with your weight column, I wouldn't be so anxious to keep shoveling in the food if I were you.
You think I got problems?
For heaven's sake, don't push your luck.
You're running a bit late.
A few things to tidy up.
Excitement of the promotion worn off yet?
Even the need of the promotion has worn off.
Oh, your husband came by before.
What for?
Oh, I think he came by to pick you up.
Why didn't he stay? Or why didn't you tell me?
Well, he told me not to bother, that you'd probably be celebrating with your friends.
Celebrating? How did he know?
Well, I happened to mention it. Look, I hope I didn't spoil any surprise.
Steve, I wish you'd mind your own business. Well, don't know what the meat was, but the gravy tasted like embalming fluid.
Well, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to it by now, too.
Oh.
You know, it's amazing. I've seen some really decent food arrive in the kitchen. But between the time it arrives and the time we get it, something bad always happens to it.
They cook it.
Come on, let's push off.
Strap those two screws, will you? For God's sake, stay away from me till it's all over. Watch yourself. Don't you tell me what to do.
I'm merely trying to be careful, that's all. I don't want people to see us together too often in case they notice and remember later.
How long before the dope starts to take effect?
I don't know for sure. It was old stock. Should start fairly soon.
Good. I can't wait. Now, you stick close to her, and when it starts to hit, you get her into the shower block.
I can't do that. She might start to suspect something. Oh, look, I've done what you wanted. The rest is up to you.
Oh, no, you ain't finished yet. You get her into the shower block like a good little girl. You let me down, and you're next on the list.
I 250 Bradley Street, Ivanhoe, please. The airport. That's international departures, and as soon as possible, please. Thanks.
Where'd you get the bolt cutters from?
I snatched them from the workshop.
Oh, is it that easy?
No, it's not that easy. You've got to keep your wits about you.
But what about the dogs? Oh, they're trained to only take orders from their master.
Yeah, I know that. But see, I heard that they were dropouts from a training course, and so I went to the library and got a book out on how to train a dog. Did some homework. Gee, they were lovely. I'm really going to miss them. I know, love. It's a pity we can't have pets in here. You remember that little puppy we had? Only old Vinegar Tits took it away and it wasn't doing any harm. What's up, love?
I don't know, just
Some sort of crambex.
Well, why didn't you make a break for it when the dogs had the screw bailed up?
Because the guard had a rifle and he would have shot him. Now, look, just shut up about the escape. It didn't work, and that is that.
You're looking very pale, love. Why don't you turn in and have an early night?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Excitement around here is getting me down anyway. See ya.
Good night, love. Poor little kid. She does look crook.
I'll give those cards back. Come on. Do you want to play?
Yeah.
Do you know how?
Oh, yeah?
Can you shuffle?
I'll try.
Bob? Bob?
Sandy? What's the matter?
Oh, it hurt. I've got this really bad pains in the guts and I keep wanting to choke.
How long has it been going on for?
Oh, no, just after dinner or something. It's just getting worse.
That stew must have disagreed with you. It was pretty spicy.
Oh, that kind of thing doesn't usually affect me. Maybe I'm pregnant.
Well, if you are, I don't know how you managed it in here.
Where there's a will, there's a...
Look, why don't you make yourself sick? I mean, if it was something you ate, you will feel better when you've got rid of it.
No, I'll wait, and if it doesn't pass, I'll get something from the sister.
I wouldn't advise that. She'll probably give you an emetic, and that could be pretty drastic, you know. Be less painful if you do it yourself.
I suppose I should give it a try.
No, not in there. You'll only have to clean it up. Now go to the shower block.
Look, I don't think I'm going to make the distance, all right?
Yes, of course you will. Just take it steady.
Right. Oh. 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 Oh.
Oh, poor Sandy's got an upset tummy. Must be something she ate.
You bitch. I should have thought you had something to do with all this.
Doesn't look well, does she?
No, she doesn't. Mind you, she ain't been the same since her husband died.
Witch!
Gotcha! You! Not everyone's noticed it, but we have. Depression, fits of temper, now this. It's no wonder she committed suicide.
You don't think anyone's going to believe you?
I don't see why not. It's happened before. You went off your rocker, had a mental breakdown and necked yourself. I warned you to stay out of my way. I've been in this racket a long time and I've learned how to survive. Some of us do. Some don't. Let's do it.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare. Oh, the roses here